It's 3 minutes after 11 o'clock. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Hump Day edition of Voices. It's Wednesday, October 25, 2023. And I'll be sitting in for Socrates today, Wednesday, and also on Friday. He's off island at the moment. Now, the first half of Voices is brought to you by TDC Rams and Flow. We're going to get a word from them, and we're going to come back. Today is basically open mic. Open mic, open voice. You can call and address any topic you want. But I also want to start. I also want to get things started by bringing you Dwight Astafan's brand new commentary for which usually drops on Wednesdays. So I'm gonna bring that to you after the commercial break, after we hear from our sponsors, and we can use that as a setup for the proceedings today on Voices. So let's go get some words from our sponsors, and we come back for today's edition of Voices. Hoping you'll join and stay.
It's October, and the TDC Home and Building Depot has gone pink in support of breast cancer awareness. Shop in-store or online for our pink tag specials with up to 75% off selected items. And be sure to look out for our Flash Sales Fridays, where you get even more savings. Plus, every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m., our team of health professionals will be in-house offering free breast screening and the chance to win a free mammogram. So this October, remember to think pink. Think TDC Home and Building Depots. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
And get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
11:07, and we're going to get into Voices now. As promised, I'm going to be playing you Dwight Astafan's current commentary as a setup for today's proceedings. Just one of, I'm sure, other topics that we will touch on today, but I thought this would be a good setup, so here it goes.
I'm going to present a number of different scenarios to you in the hope that you will ponder on them and decide for yourselves whether you have been suffering as a result, at least to some extent, of inefficiency and or corruption on the part of public officials over the years. Remember, more inefficiency and more corruption mean more costs to you, the taxpayer. They also mean less money would be left back in the treasury to provide you with safe and reliable water and energy, with a sustainable, nutritious food supply with strong infrastructure, good health and education services, stronger national security, a better trained and disciplined workforce and society. The more inefficiency and corruption there are, the worse it is for the country. We need to understand that. So here are the scenarios. Scenario number 1, the F.T. Williams Highway. The quality of work on that highway is poor, and it is worst on the roundabouts, particularly those on the eastern and western sides of Gillard's gas station. It's embarrassing. What was the cost of building that highway? You have a right to know and a responsibility to find out. It's your money. Were the contractors fully paid off? And if so, why? Given the terrible quality of work that was delivered. Who supervised that project? Are you satisfied with the project and the supervision? Well, you don't know how much it cost you, but you need to find that out and decide whether you're satisfied with that as well. I don't believe your money was well spent on that project. Scenario number 2. The second cruise pier at Bastia is said to have been estimated in the beginning at $40-something million. And I am told ended up at over $60 million US dollars. You're looking at 14-15 million US dollars extra. That's about nearly 40 million EC dollars. That has to come from the public purse, whether directly or through SCASPA. Don't you think you have a right and a responsibility to get the details of the operations and expenditures of that project? Isn't it your money that was spent and is being spent and will be spent for years to come to pay off for that project? Why do all of these things end up costing much more than originally estimated? Why? Not a little bit more, much more. Let me tell you, inefficiency and corruption in public office tend to keep people poor and countries underdeveloped. Remember that. Scenario number 3, the Bastia High School project. Please somebody explain to me how the former administration could have paid, I am told, $15 million plus in project management and other fees in relation to the BHS for a project that never got off the ground. What the management was about, what was it about? This warrants a full reporting and accounting to the people of the country. Remember, it's your money. And while the government is reporting on this, we also need a full report on the printery project on the bottom of Church Street that has been going on almost since Noah built the ark. Is it unfinishable? What were the original costs? What are the costs up to date? Why is it not finished? We need to know. And the less we know, the more uncomfortable, suspicious, skeptical, and cynical we will become. The public has been asking also about the Bastia High School demolition project and asking why the work wasn't spread among a broader number of service providers. Why not? If more can do the work and it doesn't crowd things or create unnecessary problems, why not spread the bread? People want work. People have been suffering since before COVID. Remember, it's the people's money that is being used. And the people have a right and a responsibility to ask. And public officials have a sacred responsibility to account and report. And not doing that will cause people to conclude that the public officials are either inefficient or corrupt or both. And we don't want to come to those conclusions. And I believe public officials, least of all, would want the people to come to those conclusions. So come clean. People are asking about the water tanks project. They're asking questions about how the process of awarding the contract was pursued. Asking about the pricing, the work being done, etc., etc. I'm not making any accusations, just asking questions, which I as a citizen have the right and responsibility to ask, as do you. The difference between me, myself, and a lot of you is that I ask the questions. I'm not afraid. I've been victimized too, but I'm not going to go around looking at myself as a victim. Not at all. I will ask the questions. Transparency, accountability, and sharing of information in a fulsome and timely manner are not only fundamental to democracy and good governance, They also give the public a sense of being informed and a level of comfort, confidence, and trust, which has to be much better than the dark cloud of doubt and suspicion which has been hanging over this country for so long. One of the ugly legacies of colonialism. Our people have to be on the constant alert to avoid becoming victims of bad judgment or bad motives by their decision makers. Here is another scenario. When Team Unity were in office, one of their ministers was allegedly involved in an incident with a female police officer. I think it was assault or something like that. Charges were laid against him, but nothing happened. You have a right and an obligation to ask about this and to receive a full and clear explanation from the authorities as to why this matter seems to have disappeared from the face of the earth. Here's another. What is the reason for there being no action concerning the use of clients' funds, a client's funds, by Tula partners? You need to know. Efficient and undistracted decision makers always make sure that justice is done to the very end and that we're all equal before the law. That is what efficient and undistracted and committed decision makers do. Imagine if this were you or a loved one. What would you be facing? Why would you think you are in line to be hurt or to face the music of justice, which is not a sweet tune, while others appear to be untouchable? Doesn't that upset you? Is that the kind of country we want to live in? That is why Lady Justice is black. She doesn't discriminate. Yet the reality seems, in the minds of many of us, that discrimination is more the rule than the exception. Here's another thing that you need to know, and that is the number of citizenships granted under the CBI program. You have the right to know because you are citizens of this country, and because there are potential dangers if, for one reason or another, a mass of these CBI citizens decide to come home to St. Kitts Nevis, to live and to work. As it is, you are already getting pushed around, displaced and marginalized by people coming in here from foreign lands who are not citizens. And this is being encouraged by the establishment. We've discussed this time and again before. And you are partly guilty for all of this too, because you all complain and mumble and murmur, but you do little or nothing about it. Back to the CBI. You also have the right and responsibility to be assured and to know that the people working in the CBI, local service providers, international agents, promoters, marketers, developers, and so forth, public officials, you have a right to know and a responsibility to find out and to make sure that they are all clean and in good standing, not only with the law here, but in any other jurisdiction to which they may be connected. And this is an area of concern for me. There are people who are making money, big money, from our CBI, who are cheating the taxman in countries abroad. And when something like that happens, it has a negative effect on our CBI and our economic survival and our image and reputation in the world. This is not a specific accusation I'm going to make now. I'm just going to give you some numbers. An international agent can make up to $40,000 per application, which in a number of instances is more than the government used to get. That's how ridiculous it became. If a particular agent, and I'm being hypothetical, based in country X, which is a tax jurisdiction, earns $4 million a year, but declares only half of that, he or she will be in problems in that country. And those problems can touch and embarrass us internationally. He or she can end up doing serious jail time and facing massive government fines in that other country. That is very likely to have a negative effect on us. So maintaining a clean system is even more important than we imagine. A service provider could declare to the authorities in his country that his firm or company earns $5 million annually, when in fact it earns 5-6 times that. If he's doing that in certain countries, it's just a matter of time before he or she gets caught, because that it could be tantamount to tax evasion. And cases like that usually attract wide international media attention. Now, one of the things that the authorities in that other country will definitely want to know, if they're being shortchanged in terms of tax, is where is the rest of the money? They will know that they're being shortchanged because of the efficiency of their financial intelligence machinery. Their investigations will lead them to who the person has done business with, who he or she has paid money to, who he has been giving money to. The authorities in those countries will be able to access phone records, email records, etc., etc. And next thing you know, a nasty international scandal can explode, not just in the face of the perpetrator, but in the face of little St. Kitts and Nevis. Isn't it better to be efficient and to be clean? Then you have less cleaning up to do, less problems to deal with. So with all of that said, can we now get the assurance that there are no such players in our CBI industry in St. Kitts and Nevis? The due diligence on service providers and developers has to be at least as strict as that done on the applicants for citizenship. If we cannot get that assurance, then we have to question efficiency, and then we have to wonder about corruption. And finally, if any local official on the government side is close, whether work-wise or personally or both, to a private sector stakeholder in the CBI industry in St. Kitts and Nevis, such private sector stakeholder being in the industry obviously to make money for himself or herself, then the local person should resign from a public position, because at best the perception is not good, and at worst it could be seen as a conflict of interest. We cannot serve two masters. So at least in my humble opinion, if such a situation was to exist and to be allowed to continue, it would cause a serious loss of credibility in the CBI, in the government, and in the nation, and would lead some people to ask very tough questions. Is this what we want to happen? I leave you to ponder on these things, as time and circumstance going forward will tell whether we, as a people, have the character and the self-worth and the sense of independence to demand information, and whether that proverbial stuff will hit the fan for some people sooner or later. Don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if a rocky and bumpy road is ahead of us. Efficiency and corruption will be measured jealously, and those who fall short will pay the price. But the saddest thing about all of this is that if this happens, it is the people who will pay the greatest price. Innocent people. And I can't say we're all innocent, because we're adults and we have citizen responsibilities to make sure that those who make decisions on our behalf do so properly. I plead with you, let us all strive to be efficient individually and collectively, and let us rid ourselves of corruption in all of our dealings, and insist that our public officials and anybody associated with this country conducts himself or herself similarly. Our children, our future, our civilization are depending on it. Thank you, and God bless.
And that's Dwight Estefan's weekly commentary. That's his most recent. And so I was hoping that that would serve as a setup and one of the set pieces for today's discussion. And of course, you can call on any other topic. But what are we going to do now is go take a commercial break, and we'll come back and take your calls. Don't forget the phone lines are open, so you can give me a call when I return. We're just going to get some words from our sponsors.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Campari grapefruit, easy fi we. Brother he no hard it, easy fi we. Campari he no cup, easy fi we. Brother he no hard it, easy fi we. Add the Campari with the grapefruit soda. That easy, bitter had the pre. Simple mixer, easy 1 3. Campari grapefruit, that easy fi we. Fi mix a Campari grapefruit. Add 1 part Campari to 3 parts grapefruit soda. Drink at the bar, on the beach, or when a girl reach. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
It's October, and the TDC Home and Building Depot has gone pink in support of breast cancer awareness. Shop in-store or online for our pink tag specials with up to 75% off selected items. And be sure to look out for our Flash Sales Fridays, where you get even more savings. Plus, every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m., our team of health professionals will be in-house, offering free breast screening and the chance to win a free mammogram. So this October, remember to think pink. Think TDC Home and Building Depots. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Are you ready for the summer? Need a plan like no other. Stay connected when you're on the go.
Sign up for internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
And I am back. It's Wednesday, October 25. Let's have our opening caller for today's edition of Voices. Caller, go right ahead.
Hey, good morning, James. How are you doing
Hey,
again?
what's up?
So you stirred up the water? Are you shaking the beehive? Which one is
No.
it?
I'm just, you know.
When when the old grammar school was there was a beehive in one of the columns in the school, in Standard 7. And sometimes when some children had this going through, they would go and knock on the box, and the bees will come out, and that was it, eh? School over.
You all never.
No, let me first start by sending condolences. This morning I heard Azad said that Dr. Joseph Henville had passed. I don't know if he passed this morning, so I'm sending my condolences to Pastor Henville's family and to his church. I am also sending out belated birthday greetings. Yesterday was the birthday of my own pastor, Marjorie George, of the Maranatha Church down South Point Alley. Yesterday was her birthday. Now, it's quite interesting. I like to listen to Mr. Astavan, you know. Do you believe it? You don't know some of the answers?
I'm sure he does.
Eh?
I'm sure he does in some cases.
Yeah. So if he is waiting for who he has the information to give it to him.
But I could tell you, it is something. For example, that's just something I do, because sometimes if I have a guest and I'm asking questions, the questions are intended. The questions are intended to edify the listeners, even if I know the answer. So I will ask
That's
a question.
what I mean, yeah.
I will ask a question as though I don't know the answer, but I'm asking it for the benefit of the listeners. But then
Well, whatever the objective.
yes, exactly. But then there's the added. I mean, to your point, there's the added issue where, yeah, he might know the answers, but he might not necessarily.
Yeah, he knows the answers.
He might not
But
necessarily
it
be
is
able
interesting, you see?
to say them, because some things are ticklish. if you know
And
what I mean.
if he thinks, well, he knows he was in politics, so he knows.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that he's not going to get any answer. Those things are thrown out to incite or entice people who have different opinions, or people who say, where is it go? He knows even the pier. The pier was a public-private project, you know. Are you aware of it?
Yes,
Did you see another?
yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't the government alone who should answer, because the pier does not belong to the government. You know, but I find it very interesting. Every time we turn around, there's a turnaround. And he means, well, he has his objective, eh? But I hope he's not sitting and waiting for the answer. Any of us, because if you can get from them how many passports you're going to get, those kind of questions he's asking,
I mean,
He should actually direct them straight to the person. You're going to talk about education? Call upon Dr. Jeffrey Hanley to give you the information. Whatever minister is responsible, call upon them. Because when you don't put them out in the ear, what happened to this stem cell thing they had? Where is the investigation? And the other one, herpes. I mean, you were one by one, and election after election, they just roll over. And ignore him and ignore them. And of course, people will say, what they get or what they get. He asked some legitimate questions, but I am convinced that he knows the answers. And maybe after he asked the question, he could hint at the answer, give the answer, because if he is correct, he cannot be sued. And this is the problem we have in this country. Election after election, scandal after scandal, everybody have a scandal on one another. And the poor electorate, this is why people ask to be paid, you don't think so? Tell me for my vote, because nothing is changing. Have you ever thought about that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because if I thief, and you call me thief, and when you get in, you thief, and when next one going, you thief, I mean, we're wasting time, eh? I call upon Mr. Astapan to direct the questions straight to the persons who could give him the answer. You tell him out vague, the ordinary person does not know. He could only speculate and often get himself into trouble because he might say, his Jamster steal it. You know what I mean? You know the answers, give the answers. But nothing changes. I am waiting for a response from some of the, what they call them, to the Prime Minister. Advisors. There are some who come to give interpretation. So could the Prime Minister assign one or two of his advisors, those in his own ministry, to address some of the issues raised by Mr. Astapan, because they are legitimate issues, legitimate questions. Only that I think that the purpose and objective is not the same as I would think. All right then.
Okay, great. That's our first batsman on today's edition of Voices, making the point that Dwyer's questions are valid and reasonable. So the phone lines are open. Give me a call. Another topic that came up this week, or another issue that's in the news, is the recent unveiling of the Performing Arts Center, the proposed Performing Arts Center. But let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, go right ahead.
Greetings. Thanks for taking our call.
Hey, what's up?
Whether Mr. Asafan know the answer, yes or not, that is neither here nor there. He's about educating the masses. That's what he's always about. And if the answers, you're raising things that the answers is not forthcoming, we are saying that we are doomed. And I don't think we are doomed. So the journey continues as Mr. Asafan continues to educate the masses. Rightly so. Yeah? Concerning the Performing Arts Center, the young lady that was educating the public of the upcoming thing with that was held on Monday, she had said that the minister already identified the spot, even though they was asking for information. They were asking for what it is. What is the word? They was asking for suggestion as to the spot of the Creative Arts Center, she had said that the minister already identified the spot. I find that to be some kind of anyhow. We welcome Sam, and there's talks about it here and there. We welcome Sam as a wordsmith, as a poet, and as a hand drummer. I'm looking forward to my space there to share what we can do best, you know. There was talks about the looks of it, what is the word? I think I heard you say something like that one time, or echo that. What was the word? It looked like a shopping center, was it?
Yeah, someone said that. That wasn't me, but someone said that. Yeah, that was
we are not hearing you, you know.
Yeah, I was saying someone did say
like
that.
Like a shopping mall?
Yeah, someone said that.
Okay. And the response to that was that it will have to pay for itself.
Yes.
So certain things will have to be attached, you know, part of it all. Well, we have no problem with that either. We just before we go off of that, you know, we find that people in the system, past and present, they will say they reach out, they do their field work, and people like me and others, I mean, nobody can tackle us. I mean, even down to the farming community, right? I am a registered farmer, and something like the greenhouse project, right, is being talked about and being open and things like that. And I haven't received a call or no kind of communicative vibration from no one to say, well, Mr. X, so-and-so, you're free to attend, we're invited to attend. I mean, nothing like that. There is not an inclusiveness in people, everyone who is part and parcel of what they are doing. I'm a poet, I'm a wordsmith, and poetry is all part and parcel of creativity. As I said just a while ago, I'm also a hand drummer, all part and parcel of creativity. I'm not saying that they didn't invite poets there or poets wasn't there, but embrace all. And that is not happening, and that is very sad. Like they're looking for you to reach out to them. And they are still saying, on one side of their mouth, they're still saying that they have done their field work, they reach out to people. I guess some people are invisible, people like me and others who are observing this. And that is sad. That is very sad. The lack of inclusivity, it is so severe that words can't, and it is so sad. And it is happening with past and present administrations. And it needs to stop. I mean, everybody knows everybody. What is the problem? Is it politics again? Is it politics again? Will that we get a beating? It will get a beating. Give thanks to the time. Blessed love.
Yes, okay, great. That's from the elder there. So keep your calls coming. It's 11:37. Okay, if I don't see a call in the next 15 seconds, I'm going. Oh, so looks like we do have a call. Call will go right ahead. Voices.
Hi, good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I listened to the farm report this morning. Also, I listened to Carla Astafan, a piece that she wrote in the Jamaica Gleaner. And I'm wondering if there's a correlation why our thinkers and Nevis was non-present, absent from the regional or the global space in which we are to be present of. I say that because yesterday's conversation with Carla, she said that this lady, Lumbo, sent an email of such caliber, but it was sent maybe to the tourism department, and it ended up in the trash pan, or the when you discard such emails and so forth. But for whatever reason she did not give, he retrieved that email and read the content, and the content was of one owner in the UK, some green that benefited from sugar estates on Sinkit and Montserrat. As a result of that, she was able to follow up, and from the content of the email, able to follow up and follow the trail. Because all of these things that was hidden for such a time. The point I am trying to make with this morning's discussion with the farm report is that this meeting was held in Belize. And for whatever reason, I think it might have been present, but their inclusiveness, their participation was of like lukewarm, as if Stinkits' land is not as arable, or as if Stinkits don't have a blueprint towards agriculture and the like. One of the things I always advocate to and for is a tree planting revolution, ornamental and otherwise food trees, especially coconut and others. And if this is not a part of the blueprint of the Ministry of Agriculture, they need to take some advice from the laymen, the lay people out here who have ideas. And I could tell you I have an idea. Let's take a stroll up the Afro Strip, what they call the Afro Strip. I planted those trees in 2013. And I was given the green light by Minister Liebert, Patrice Liebert. But it goes beyond myself, and others have planted trees before. So I just want to really pinpoint the correlation as to why Sinkits and Nevis is missing in action when it comes to things that really concern us. As food, as we know food is the staff of life. As reparations, as our ancestors have toiled and equally deserve reparations like any of the other islands and persons who were, enslaved. But yet, lo and behold, we are missing in action for whatever reason. Externally, regionally, and even here, with the way our citizens approach things. Why would a pivotal email like that would have ended up in the trash pan? That should have been the first thing on the mind of the email that came anyone's way that was in the office of tourism. To pass this on to the reparations committee immediately, ASAP, because of its content. Or maybe they wouldn't have read it, but even the headline. That is about the consciousness of our people. It is very, very low. Our energy is very, very low. And that is why we are so exploited in this country. That's my 2 cents for today, Jam, sir.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so that's another way in from another caller. So, okay, so no calls at the moment. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear from our sponsors. It's 11:43.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Are you ready for the summer? Need a plan like no other. Stay connected when you're on the go.
Sign up up for internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
50,000?
50,000?
$50,000? Win big with TDC. Win up to $50,000 cash in the TDC Mega Rewards Mega Raffle. To enter, you must be a Mega Rewards member or sign up to TDC Mega Rewards Loyalty Program. Shop at our TDC retail stores or online at shoptdcgroup.com to receive one entry for every $250 spent. Draws take place from July to November. Win $10,000 every month with your entry rolled over so you can win even more.
Yes, this is 50.
Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back. Back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on.
Morning.
Hey.
Yeah, as you were speaking about the performing art theater, right? I could tell you that there were preliminary drawings done by the previous administration. They were done by the Taiwanese for multi-purpose facility there by the Carnival Village.
Yeah.
Going into Bastia High School, the whole area there with the netball and everything there.
Yeah.
There was preliminary drawings done for basketball, volleyball, and the performing of art theater and everything. And these are things that is backing our progress because it's politics. If you think what I'm saying, you could ask the ministers of past.
No, I did. I did see the plans for that facility.
Yes, but no, you get him because it's one thing government continues. The administration might change, but government continues. You already have drawings done by the Taiwanese. So you're going to go back to them and tell them, no, you're going to scrap those drawings when money already spent?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And then in the end, who will live to suffer? The artists who want that facility, they will have to wait a little longer. The people who play basketball, they will have to wait a little longer because of politics. It's all because of politics where these things are happening. And the quicker we get out of this kind of frame of thinking, it's best for us as a nation. Think it's a Nevis is too small to have politics killing it. We could have been, if you look around and you take a serious look at St. Kitts and Nevis going nowhere. We just become a mediocre country. We going nowhere. We stall, we stagnant. We ain't out there and like going to attract people to our shows. We are not stagnant. And it's all because of politics. The Bastia High School, we don't had a plan for the location to move on. And because of politics, millions of dollars was spent and the join already for Bastia High School. Millions of dollars was spent. And you won't shelve that project because of politics. Millions of dollars you put on a shelf. What will you do with the drawings after that? What is the use of the $1 million worth of drawings? Who suffer in the long run? The nation. And as far as Doya Astafan is concerned, I think we're holding Doya Astafan a little higher than he actually deserves. Doya Astafan will raise a lot of questions. When it comes on agriculture and everything, Doya Astafan sit in a cabinet. We make a decision to import rather than to plant. He sit in a cabinet that make that decision against the farmers. He was part of that cabinet against the farming community who sit and make a decision that it is cheaper to import than to plant. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Okay. Very, very interesting perspectives being aired here on Voices. Keep your calls coming. I should point out that you know, I try to present stuff impartially. It's not about Dwyer. It's about the issues. So it's not about me elevating Dwyer, or denigrating Dwyer. It's about me presenting the issues that he presents on his platform, which I think need to be heard, and it could have been anyone, and so that we can have the debate, and we can maybe exercise our critical thinking muscles, get them stronger and stronger, and then maybe we can move from there to actual action. Maybe, just maybe. Voices, you're on air. Hello, Voices, you're on air.
Oh, it's me again.
Yeah. Hi.
Well, a while ago when I called, I said the line was busy. So I thought you were going to pick up a call. Anyway, now sometimes the things that we overlook or allow to pass come back to haunt us. In your life? Well, I don't like the subject, so I'm not going to bother. Then you were university and you should learn your two timetables, Not you personally, but all of us. Now, I was listening to the one, maybe from a week before, but I was listening to the one about the golf course. And I said to myself, I understand his feelings, But I am saying right now, if he had stood up to Dr. Denzel Douglas when he passed the management and almost the ownership of the golf course to Marriott, we would not have been in this spot. He was the Minister of Tourism, And Dr. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas went and made a deal with Marriott that almost ruined a number of our local hotels who used to sell the rooms with the golf course, with the opportunity to have golf. And when Marriott took it over, Marriott decided at first it was going to be only guests of Marriott who could use the golf course. Now, when you look at the golf course was built with public funds under Mr. Southwell. The Royal St. Kitts, what we call Jack Tar, there was a hotel there right next to it. And all of a sudden, because of the actions of the then Prime Minister, even that. So now that we have given away the golf course, and he went further, and the power to manage the development on the golf course and the Southeast Peninsula were removed. There was a Southeast Peninsula Board, of which Edsel Daniel, who you might know, and Patrick Williams, they were managing the Southeast Peninsula development. As soon as he got in, he closed it down, and Dr. Denzel Douglas gave himself alone the authority to direct and decide what sort of development could go on at the Southeast Peninsula, which of course led to the killing of the Salpan, the removal of some of the environmental things. You understand? Then you had the Swedish Bay Development Corporation, which went bankrupt. And so the golf course, Marriott now decide, well, you're not making the money. He left to languish. The workers over there were left waiting to be paid. So I am sure Mr. Asapan regrets his actions because he had power. He was an elected member. He was a minister of government. He had enough power, enough backing of the community to stand up to Dr. Denzel Douglas. But he allowed it to pass. So he now has an uphill battle. He says he is not going to let it happen. Well, how can we trust that when he allowed the management, almost the ownership of the same golf course to pass to a company that you could say, oh, they get a street name up. Imagine that, Zenway. And stick the name all over St. Kitts. And they allowed it to happen. So who does he expect to go with him on the golf course to stand up when they start to put down the construction? How is he going to do it? Because he said he's not going to allow it to happen. But remember, the people who watch him stand by with his mouth shut and allow the golf course to be handed to a company that just came. All of OTI and all of those here. They suffered. And what was the response? Silence. So I am glad he's asking the questions, I am glad he's asking the question and championing many causes. But he must take to himself a lot of the responsibility of a lot of these things that happen. That's what I have to say about that.
Okay.
You want to add something?
No, I'm listening.
All right, then.
I'm listening. Okay. So, yes, we are heading up. We have about 5 minutes up until news time. So, keep the calls coming. And I want to see some more spirited discussion. We've been having some really good calls. That was another great Wayne from Sylvine Henry. So keep your calls coming. We have 4 minutes until 12. Go ahead, call. Voices.
Greetings. Sorry about the feed.
No problem.
So not from the call, not from you. It's just the reason on the table. Look, when it comes to the messenger, Brother Dwyer, all we have to say concerning him and the way others are seeing him, the light that others are seeing him in, any amounts uno are you is without sin. Cast the first one. Cast the first stone. Otherwise, don't cast no stone. Dwyer is not perfect, just like all of us. Same? That's all I would say concerning the messenger. Now, concerning the message, we are thanking him for sharing, and we are thanking you and the radio station for sharing forward with us. We welcome them, yeah? And we are sure that Mr. Astafan is very conscious of what all he been through as an individual in politics. He's not a madman. He's very sane. So reminding him of this and that and the other is neither here nor there. We are dealing with the present momento, the present time, the present hour going forward. Yeah? It is not bad to go back to come forward. But that kind of going back, it is neither here nor there. His meditation is where it is at the present moment, and we should, in lots of cases, if we don't want to acknowledge, if we don't want to embrace the messenger, we must acknowledge the messages and make sure we listen to them with our inner ears as citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yeah. We want to also thank Sister Carla for her agitation and for sharing what was in that email. We have not privy to, we ain't privy to know that yet. And we want to thank Africa for bringing it forward. And concerning that happening, it clearly shows our utterance and echoes about the wrong faces in the right places. Because if they're matching up, if we ain't got the right faces in the right places, there won't be no successes in terms of what we are about as a people. Yeah? It is very important for the right faces to be in the right places. And when the right faces are not in the right places, those things happen. See the hour strike, it happened because their mentality, the face ain't just about no face, it could be all a brown face like this, like Miss Atafan, Me talking about that, It don't have to be a face black like tar. Yeah? Like me. I'm talking about the mental faculty of the person, the level of consciousness of the person that is in that space, is in that office. Yeah? If that is not where it ought to be, they're going to be having problems.
And on that note, news time.
We'll come to the time.
Okay,
Let it
great.
go.
Okay, we have news coming up next. It's the Win FM Midday News. It's 12 o'clock.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delete.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
With the Win FM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: St. Kitts Nevis commemorate United Nations Day 2023 with lighting ceremony. Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine offers full veterinary scholarships to St. Kitts and Nevis citizens. Guyana government and opposition met on Venezuela issue. Jamaica's Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs says the real monsters are people, not crime. Internationally, on the Israel-Gaza conflict, growing calls for humanitarian pause in fighting continue. Now the details. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis joined the rest of the world in commemorating United Nations Day on the evening of October 24th. As part of the global celebration, a lighting ceremony took place at government headquarters where the building was lit with a vibrant blue hue, symbolizing the celebration of the 78th anniversary of the United Nations. Additionally, the day marks the 40th anniversary of St. Kitts and Nevis's membership in the United Nations. One of the themes for the day was the front lines of climate action. Sustainable Development Minister, the Honorable Joel Clark, shared in social media posts writing, quote, "The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and by extension the Ministry of Sustainable Development, joins the global community in this celebration. Why? The Sustainable Development Goals are at the heart of achieving a sustainable future, a sustainable island state for us all. The 2030 Agenda is important to us in our commitment to leaving no one behind. It is about inclusivity and diversity," end quote. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, in remarks to mark the occasion, spoke of the importance of commemorating the day.
We gather to celebrate the United Nations Day 2023, a day of global significance and particular importance to us as a nation. We also mark a momentous occasion, as it has been 40 years since our beloved nation, St. Kitts and Nevis, became a proud member of the United Nations. Put your hands together for your nation. To commemorate this momentous occasion, we come together this evening in a symbolic gesture to adorn our government headquarters in a brilliant shade of blue. The blue light that will emanate from this building is more than just a beautiful spectacle. It is a symbol of our commitment to the United Nations and our dedication to the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. United Nations Day is a reminder of the importance of international cooperation and the shared responsibility we hold as a global community. The United Nations, in its over 7 decades of existence, has been a beacon of hope and a catalyst for positive change worldwide. It embodies the spirit of working together for a brighter, more sustainable future.
According to the United Nations, the day acknowledges that October 24th marks the anniversary of the entry into force in 1945 of the United Nations Charter. The ratification of this founding document by the majority of its signatories, including the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, the United Nations officially came into being. Secretary General Antonio Guterres on United Nations Day continued to call for faster, bolder climate action and intends to galvanize world leaders ahead of the COP28 climate conference in Dubai later in the year and next year's international conference on small island developing states in Antigua and Barbuda. Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine has announced that they are now offering a full scholarship to locals. In a release from the Education Media Unit of the St. Kitts Nevis Government, the Athlum Global Education and Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine, in collaboration with the St. Christopher and Nevis Ministry of Education, launched the Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree scholarship offered by RUSVM to citizens of the Federation. Students must be citizens of St. Christopher and Nevis or have resided in the Federation for 3 years before their application submission. Citizens studying overseas will be considered to have been living in the Federation during that time. Scholarship applications are due 2 months before the semester start date. There are 3 deadlines to take note of. The first is Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. Applicants planning to begin studies in January 2024. Deadline 2, Friday, March 1st, 2024. Applicants who are planning to begin studies in the May 2024 semester. And deadline 3, Monday, July 1st, 2024. Applicants who are planning to begin studies in the September 2024 semester. Before submitting a scholarship application, interested students must first apply for admission directly through the Ross University website portal. Successful applicants to the school from St. Kitts should contact Carla Diamond at the Ministry of Education, carla.diamond@moe.edu.kn or 467-3340, or from Nevis should contact Carolyn Edwards at the Department of Education, carolyn.edwards-david@moe.edu.kn or 469-7771 for more information on the scholarship details. In regional news, Guyana government and opposition met on a Venezuela issue. Guyana News Source has the details.
The government of Guyana and the opposition met this afternoon and have both completely rejected Venezuela's planned referendum on Guyana's Essequibo region. President Irfan Ali and the government team met and held discussions on the Venezuelan issue with opposition leader Aubrey Norton and his opposition team for more than 1 hour at the president's office. At the end of the meeting, opposition leader Aubrey Norton said the government and the opposition are unified on rejecting the Venezuelan claims and planned referendum.
It is pernicious, dangerous, and we hope it should not go forward. It's very aggressive by nature and militarizes an issue that really should be for diplomatic resolution.
In a statement last evening, the government of Guyana announced that it was alerting the international community about the planned Venezuelan referendum, which seeks, among other things, to make Essequibo a new state of Venezuela. In response, the Venezuelan government, in its own statement today, said the president of Guyana has continuously rejected talks on the border issue. The border controversy is currently before the International Court of Justice. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton said he believes that Venezuela is attempting to move the issue away from the International Court, but those attempts must be rejected.
Venezuela is trying to shift this thing away from the ICJ. We have to ensure it stays with the ICJ. Our best option is with the ICJ. And Venezuela in this particular document argued, unfortunately and erroneously, that they're trying now to root it in the Geneva Agreement. This process is as a result of the Geneva Agreement. We have tried for years the good officer. It didn't work. And finally, we decided, in keeping with the Geneva Agreement, that it will go to the ICJ. We have urged Venezuela to make their presentation to the ICJ. But this is rooted in the Geneva Agreement, and what Venezuela is attempting to do is to make it appear as if we are, the government of Guyana, all of us are rejecting dialogue. We are not. It is from the Geneva Agreement that we ended up at the ICJ, and that is in keeping with that agreement that pursues the Pacific settlement of disputes.
Following today's meeting, the government of Guyana and the opposition have agreed to engage more regularly on matters regarding the border controversy. And the Parliamentary Sectorial Committee on Foreign Affairs is expected to meet tomorrow.
We stress the need for public education. We pointed out that even when there is public education, it is not continuous. And we argue that going forward, there should be continuous education. Continuous public education. And the president agreed. He said they have begun to work on it, and we're happy. We want continuous public education to ensure people understand the issues and are supportive of us.
Leader of the Alliance for Change and opposition member of Parliament Kemraj Ramjatan said it is important for the government and the opposition to be united on the border issue, as they have always been over the years. An opposition spokesperson on foreign relations, member of Parliament Amanzo Walton Desir, also attended a meeting as part of the opposition delegation. She said the opposition has not shirked from its support of the government on the border issue.
Sometime last week I would have received a call for the reconvening of the Parliamentary Sectorial Committee on Foreign Relations, and I'm happy to say that that call has been heeded, and we will meet tomorrow, Wednesday. And coming out of that committee will set the agenda for the joint interaction that we expect to see going forward.
In its statement last evening, the Guyana government said the planned Venezuelan referendum seeks to annex Guyana's Essequibo region, and it has since alerted the international community to the actions being carried out by the government of Venezuela, which have the potential to incite violence and to threaten the peace and security of the state of Guyana and, by extension, the Caribbean region.
Jamaica's Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs says the real monsters are people, not crime. Television Jamaica reports.
Crime was a big focus at the Western Leadership Conference and constituency meeting hosted by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Western Jamaica. Clergy leaders and government officials saw eye to eye on a number of issues as well as the way forward. More in this report.
Even inside church, the topic of crime rolls off tongues like godly choruses. As statistics continue to raise eyebrows, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahoo Fort said crime and violence are not the monsters in the society.
Our people, our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, spouses too, with vile hearts and seared consciences, who devise evil and then carry out that evil in the most wicked way.
Speaking at a Seventh-day Adventist church event on Sunday, she added that ironically, data show that people committing despicable acts contrary to the laws of God
are people who are often present in the congregation. And so you interact with them in one way, and then you are almost surprised when their names are called in other things.
Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang said though policing isn't the only factor needed to resolve criminality, it is a critical component, and one church has agreed to help.
We have rented from the Seventh-day Adventist Church Camp Early. The government has challenged to train the required number of police officers. Turkham Park, which is the government's primary training center, is there, and we can train X number. We have Harmon Barracks, but in order to achieve the number of police officers required, we had to expand, and one of the institutions we could look to, again, the Seventh-day Adventist was there to rescue us and help us.
Meanwhile, Pastor Dane Fletcher, Youth Ministries Director for the Jamaica Union Conference, agreed the issue of crime should not be political.
It is a social problem. Crime and violence doesn't look at your shirt if it is green or orange. It doesn't consider if you are Adventist, Baptist, or Catholic. It affects all of us.
Javon Keys, TVJ News.
We now bring you these international reports.
Well, our correspondent in Gaza, Rushdie Abu Alouf, has also been reporting that there have been multiple airstrikes overnight, and they are also hitting the territory's southern area, where for many days now, Gazans were told by Israel that they had to evacuate from the north and go south, where they would be safer. This is the latest update from southern Gaza, from Rushdie Abu Alouf.
We have seen 5-6 airstrikes around the Khan Yunis area. One of them was very close to the hospital here. A house was hit here with 2 people killed overnight. The health official said about 82 people were killed in multiple strikes overnight. With the number should be, now they are collecting the numbers of airstrikes, the number of people dead. We know that yesterday, the largest number of people died in one day. 700 people were killed yesterday, and we will see today how things are going. But the people are not suffering only from death and airstrikes. They are suffering from all the essential life-saving issue, water, electricity. Here in the hospital, they don't have blood. They don't have saving life kits. They don't have fuel. And they said, if we keep like this, this is the largest medical center that serving half the population, might be stopped very soon.
And that is the situation in southern Gaza, across the Gaza Strip on day 19 of this war, where fuel is a matter of growing urgency. Another focus of the past 24 hours has been Israel's fury about comments made by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at a meeting of the UN Security Council in New York. He told the table that Hamas attacks in southern Israel had not happened, in his words, in a vacuum. The Times of Israel is reporting that the Israeli government may now withhold visas from UN officials in retaliation. Listen to a bit of what Mr. Guterres had to say in New York.
The attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. Their hopes for a political solution to their plight have been vanishing. But the grievances of the Palestinian people cannot justify the appalling attacks by Hamas, and those appalling attacks cannot justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who also told both sides that they had to be mindful of international humanitarian law. That both sides had to be mindful of keeping civilians out of harm's way. In a moment, we'll hear from a senior advisor to Israel's Prime Minister. But first, let's look at the fuel situation and the growing urgency to get more into Gaza. We've been speaking to Juliet Touma. She's a spokesperson for UNRWA, and she gave us more details about how desperate the situation is needed in terms of fuel.
We need that shipment to come in like now, because we are running out of fuel and we need it for the resumption of our humanitarian operation across the Gaza Strip. UNRWA needs fuel because we have not received any shipments of fuel since the 7th of October. The fuel that we desperately need will be used by UNRWA for things like UN cars, UN trucks, that are currently delivering the very little supplies that we have in Gaza to people in need. We have 600,000 people in UN schools and other shelters. We are giving wheat flour to bakeries so that people can have bread to eat. This is how the fuel will be used for. UNRWA will use it for those purposes, for humanitarian purposes. It's life-saving. What I know is that there are efforts at the highest level to make sure that fuel comes to UNRWA, to Gaza today, because if it doesn't come today, if it does not come today, then we are going to be put in a very difficult situation where we're going to have to make the decision over a reduction of a humanitarian operation, which is one of the largest we have ever undertaken in the history of UNRWA, because we have 600,000 people who depend on UNRWA and our assistance.
Juliet Touma, who's the spokesperson for UNRWA, the main agency taking care of Palestinian refugees in Gaza, and her call for urgently needed fuel is being repeated by the heads of UN agencies, all of the heads of UN agencies, as well as major charities working in the Gaza Strip. Well, Israel has been pushing back against claims that there is a fuel shortage, and also pushing back against the comments of the UN Secretary General. A short time ago, I spoke to Mark Regev. He's a senior advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister. He's also a former Israeli ambassador to the United Kingdom. And I first asked him about Israel's furious reaction to the comments made by the Secretary General.
Of course, we heed what President Biden and our other friends are saying. Of course, Israel works within the framework of international law. Of course, Israel wants to minimize harm to the civilian population of Gaza. Of course, we are targeting Hamas and not Gaza's civilians. But when people are saying it's the same, that when a civilian is inadvertently caught up in the crossfire between us and Hamas, that's the same as butchering, as raping, burning children alive, the sort of things Hamas does. There is no symmetry. The German Chancellor, when he was here a few days ago, he made a comparison between Hamas and the Nazis. World leaders have said they're like ISIS, worse than ISIS, because ISIS didn't burn children alive. ISIS didn't do the sort of atrocities that Hamas committed. And yet the Secretary General is saying it's a clean playing field. Sorry, it's not a clean playing field. There is a clear aggressor here, a clear victim here, and Israel was attacked unprovoked. There is no justification, and that is what should be expected of the leader of the largest and most important international organization.
I also asked Mark Regev whether there was any possibility that Israel would allow that fuel to be allowed to enter Gaza.
We're helping to bring in water, food and medicine. Fuel is problematic because fuel is what Hamas wants for its war machine. for its rockets, for its tunnels, underground terror network, and we'll be fighting that terror network shortly. And so we need to make sure they don't get the fuel for their military machine. I tell you, and I know for a fact, there are hundreds of thousands of liters of petrol, of fuel inside the Gaza Strip as we speak. Hamas has it. Surely Hamas can release some of that for Gaza's hospitals?
Now a war of words over fuel and over this conflict. Let's get another perspective. We're joined by Nasser Al-Qudwa. He's a former Foreign Affairs Minister in the Palestinian Authority. He joins us now from Marseille in France. Nasser Al-Qudwa, you have seen over many years the kind of tensions which erupt at the UN Security Council, but the kind of tensions and accusations which were exchanged last night, have you ever seen that level of tension?
Unfortunately, no. I haven't seen that level of aggressiveness, of rudeness, of arrogance by the Israeli officials, including Mr. Ardan, the ambassador there. It's unbelievable. I mean, unheard of. What was said by the Secretary General of the United Nations should be understood as something said by the man who represents the international community, by the man who embodies international law, by the man that should be respected. And reaction like that is just unbelievable. Of course, the Israelis here are counting on the unlimited support and protection by some countries like the United States and some other Western countries, and that should stop and should stop immediately, because this is the beginning of different behavior by the Israeli occupying government.
But Mark Regev, the Israeli senior advisor to the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, was very, very critical of what he saw as a symmetry between the State of Israel and Hamas, which is regarded as a terrorist organization by many Western states, including the United Kingdom. Do you also believe that you simply cannot establish a symmetry there?
What he said was wrong, because the Secretary General and I and others are not trying to put the equation Israel versus Hamas. It's Israel versus millions of Palestinian civilians that are dying by unlimited numbers, by the thousands every day, and that has to stop. I mean, this man, Regev, is saying that, yes, of course, we are abiding by international humanitarian in their behavior, otherwise we are all going towards unprecedented catastrophe in the region.
The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, says that it's overwhelmed by the number of people displaced by Israel's war on Gaza. It says 600,000 displaced Palestinians have fled their homes and are taking refuge at its shelters. At least 40 of its facilities, that includes schools and clinics, have been impacted by Israeli strikes. The agency says its shelters are hosting currently 4 times their capacity. Many families are sleeping in the streets. Meanwhile, Oxfam is warning that Israel is using starvation as a weapon of war. The agency says just 2% of the normal food supply has been delivered after Israel imposed a total blockade. Oxfam described the situation as horrific and says 2.3 million people are being collectively punished in contravention of international humanitarian law. Bushra Khalidi is policy lead in the occupied Palestinian territory in Israel at Oxfam. You're joining us from Ramallah, Bushra. So your group, your organization, studied this. What have been your findings?
So before the hostilities escalated, Israel had imposed for 16 years an illegal blockade on Gaza, and 104 food trucks at the time were entering Gaza daily. That's a truck every 14 minutes. Now, only 30 trucks have delivered food since the weekend, only in the southern part of Gaza through the Rafah crossing. Averaging 1 truck every 3 hours and 12 minutes. The significant drop in food deliveries is creating an immediate and life-threatening situation for 2.2 million people, of which half are children, who are now in desperate need.
So that's where you get the 2% of their usual food supply that they've been getting since this started. What are people eating?
My family is in Gaza. Yesterday, they shared 3 cans of tuna between about 20 people with cucumber. They have to queue, as your reporter said, for hours for water or even to get some bread. Prices have flown up the roof. Clean water is almost non-existent, with only 3 liters available per person. The UN sets 15 liters as the bare minimum, even in humanitarian emergencies.
Hold on, can you say those numbers again? Can you say those numbers again for our viewers? The water that they have versus the water that people need.
So far, people have only 3 liters a day per person. The UN sets 15 liters as the minimum, bare minimum, even in humanitarian emergencies, as the bar. So that's 5 times less than what the UN sets as the bare minimum for a person to survive. As your reporter also mentioned, numerous bakeries and supermarkets have been destroyed and damaged. Those that are operational, of course, cannot meet the local demand for essentials like fresh bread. Gaza's only working wheat mill is non-operational because there's no fuel, and it runs, of course, on electricity. Essential items like food, flour, oil, sugar are present in undestroyed warehouses, but delivering them is nearly impossible due to the damaged roads.
This is interesting. I think a lot of people don't know this, Bushra. You're saying that there are basic foodstuffs. Even as people are hungry, there are basic foodstuffs that are currently undamaged in warehouses. What is happening to those?
Well, they can't reach them because the roads are so destroyed and there's constant bombardment that people can't reach that food. And there's lack of fuel, so you don't have also the possibility to move those stocks around because there's nowhere safe in Gaza. They're bombarding the north like the south. We're finding, actually, my family has gone back to Gaza City today because they could not sustain the living conditions they were in while taking refuge in the middle area. Over 15,000 farmers have lost their crops. 10,000 livestock breeders are struggling, and the Finnish fishing industry is completely paralyzed. Gaza has a huge fishing industry, but they can't go to the sea to fish. The current, of course, electricity blackout is affecting the refrigeration of food supplies, if there was any.
Bushra, can I jump in? There's an important part of your statement which I read that says there were foodstuffs, obviously, that came in on these trucks, these 60 or so trucks that have been allowed into the Gaza Strip since the weekend.
30.
I beg your pardon?
30 trucks.
Okay, that's not the number that I had. But that lentils and pasta in particular were allowed to enter into the Gaza Strip. Your statement mentions that, and also mentions that actually that can't always be consumed because of a lack of electricity and a lack of drinking water.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people can't cook. There's no gas to cook. There's no electricity to cook. And there's no clean water to cook. So you can't make lentil soup or rice without clean water and without gas. Maybe some families have some supplies, but generally speaking, it has been mostly canned food, what people have been surviving on.
How much longer can this last? I know it's very difficult to obviously put a date on it, but you're telling me that people are living right now off of tuna cans and cucumber. Presumably they don't have unlimited resources of tuna cans and cucumber.
Days?
I beg your pardon?
It's impossible to, we're unable to operate. Our operations have been halted. We're only able to do very small distributions of hygiene kits, soap, toothpaste, things like this. Our partners are also trying to live the day. So our assessment, our ability to assess the situation with very precise data is extremely difficult to really, and we can't reach people. We can't reach affected communities to also do those assessments to understand really how much supplies do they have left. I would expect that people from with better incomes might have more supplies, but people that are struggling, knowing that more than half of Gaza lives under the poverty line, are already starving.
Gaza's population is very young. What does it do to children, especially the youngest children, to be malnourished? I mean, look, staying alive because you're eating the bare minimum, that's one thing. But to actually be malnourished, what are you looking at that in terms of what it does in the medium term, the long term, to these young bodies?
We are developing this analysis further, but from just common sense, a child should be having at least 3 meals a day with 2 snacks in between, a good portion of protein and vegetables, including carbs, and all the vitamins that they need, especially that they're growing. That's malnutrition, and malnutrition has severe long-term consequences on children, not only actually physical consequences, but mental health consequences. I had worked for another international organization that had commissioned a report 3 years ago after the 2021 war, and it found that 4 out of 5 children felt abandoned by the world.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: St. Kitts Nevis commemorate United Nations Day 2023 with lighting ceremony. Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine offers full veterinary scholarships to St. Kitts and Nevis citizens. Guyana government and opposition met on Venezuela issue. Jamaica's Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs says the real monsters are people, not crime. Internationally, on the Israel-Gaza conflict, growing calls for humanitarian pause in fighting continue. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Did you really think cybersecurity was just not for you? Think again. The threat is real and everyone can fall. It's time to get ready and protect your business. At Cable and Wireless Business, we are the top local partner with global cybersecurity expertise. Cybercrime will not stop us. Visit stopthenextattack.com for more.
A trough in the vicinity will continue to generate some instability across the region. Available moisture could trigger brief showers across the area. Today, partly sunny with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Tonight, partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of brief showers. Sunset today will be at 5:43 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:07 a.m. That's your weather forecast for today, which came to the kind compliments of CW Business.
Did you really think cybersecurity was just not for you? Think again. The threat is real and everyone can fall. It's time to get ready and protect your business. At Cable and Wireless Business, we are the top local partner with global cybersecurity expertise. Cybercrime will not stop us. Visit stopthenextattack.com for more.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Are you ready to transform your bedroom into a haven of dreamy comfort and affordable luxury? Well, get ready, because Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store Bedroom Set Sales Event is here. We believe that your bedroom should be your sanctuary, and we're making it easier than ever to make that dream a reality. During the entire month of October only, get 20% off all cash purchases on a wide range of exquisite bedroom sets. Hurry in today to Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store and let us help you create the bedroom of your dreams. Don't miss out on this incredible dreamy comfort, affordable luxury bedroom set sales event and get 20% off all cash purchases, putting comfort and luxury within your reach. Remember, at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store, we make dreams a reality. Don't wait. This event won't last forever. Visit us now. Terms and conditions apply.
It's 12:43. Welcome to the second and concluding half of Voices. And this segment is brought to you by Horsford. You just heard a word there from Horsford. So we are back for the remaining, what's that? 12:45, 12:44. Okay, so 12:45. So the remaining about 45 minutes, I think. So let's make the most of the 45 minutes we have left. Call and let your voice be heard. The numbers are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. And you've also got these North American exchange options. 718-285-6984. I need to shut up. There's a call. So let's go to the phone lines. Go right ahead. Caller.
Greetings.
And you are the first.
Things yes. all over the world. Their things globally.
What's up?
But my there's so much of it in the world. But good things are going on to because right now, I'm not saying it's well. A few mornings we wake up and think me in that area in Jamaica they call Deposit. It's cut off from its nearby communities like Capi and Kentire, Augustown, which is surrounding around the University of the West Indies. Because that area there now, zebras eat, is a river cut it off. And when you're inside, the Ashkenazi live inside there right now, and the next you come challengers. Nice area, man. It's a Ethiopian Orthodox church community, you know?
Okay.
As when one is a member, I did get baptized in 1978. I didn't think it along with others. So, having that privilege, I just make over there one of my home, a getaway home. It's like you're over there and you're not in Jamaica. Yeah? it's like Port Royal, yeah. A cut off and secluded kind of vibration.
Isn't
And a couple mornings I wake up and the got College Street got water running, make me remind me of there. The water has been running for days.
Isn't Port
Sun
Royal
is shining
that
right
place?
down, and water is still running. College Street got is running. Passable by vehicles, but not by foot. I just say
Okay, that's good. So we're getting rain. That's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, which is good. Yeah. The water at the hills from the chambers. Just for us to be thankful for same and make use of same while same is falling, you know? Rain is like a priceless blessing. Yeah?
Did you
and,
see?
You know, a couple days ago, water is free from that now, but a couple days ago, it was unimaginable, the kind of things that was going down inside of the gut, in College Street gut in particular. Items of all sort. And going down to the sea. And I actually saw someone.
I was just about to ask you. That's what I was about. If you saw the video with the guy, and he was the guy that was.
My WhatsApp is down, so I'm not privy to what's going on right now. Talk to me.
Yeah, I was saying there was a video with someone that was trying to cross College Street. I think that was in the Liverpool area there. And they were having some difficulty, but they managed to get. It seems as though they managed to get to the step, the Koori step, on the right.
Yes.
So that was good, but the person who was shooting the video was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because because so we were wondering if this person is from St. Kitts, because I mean, I would like to think Kittitians know better than to, Kittitians and Divisions would know better than to try to wade across College Street gut when it's in its stormy glory, so to speak.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a foolish thing to do. I mean, work with it. If you can't go down by the bridge and you don't have a vehicle that can go across that water level, leave it alone. Yeah. It was at a point the notice thing is still there. People who heavyweight couldn't go across that. Just I didn't heavyweight, but I just right there, just run across from the east to the south and just jump over it and just keep going. I know she exercised.
I actually think when that bridge was designed, I know they were designed with cars in mind, but I'm not sure if those bridges, maybe they can, but I don't know if they can support, larger vehicles now. I imagine they'll support cars still, regular cars, because the cars are probably a little lighter now. With all the
you're referring to the bridge that is down at the bottom?
Yeah, Westbourne and College, yeah. Yeah,
the both of them. No, I think it's just put things in on. If they was built for car, if they could change that policy and do some overhead inside the street itself, Yeah, I mean, when cars go up there now, okay, if that's the only way of going over.
I was told it was done for cars.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think most people know that, though. Because you hardly ever see people using them that way.
Truthful, there's no good information sharing it. I do not think about that.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is, if that is so, we are glad that the cars haven't been using it, because it would be, a mix down with people walking and cars going to and fro, and it's small already.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that at all. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I learned that as a kid, I think, in boys' school. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. I just had a little taste of boys' school. I had to come out. Early age.
But
yeah, Mr. Williams. Yeah, man, thanks for sharing that. Now, we're talking about the atmospheric vibration here right now, and the sun shining, rain falling, holy for water, and we live in a fertile piece of earth, yes, and I really think that we're missing the boat, you know, with our priorities. We're really missing our priorities ain't set right. Ain't set right, and
yeah, that's true. At least when it comes to agriculture.
yeah,
Definitely not set right.
You know, and other things too, you know. Other things too, man, because we're just hearing about the United Nations, and that means we are part of a global family, you know. And some things that are going on in the earth amongst other people that will directly or indirectly affect us. We're not even bothering, we're not even studying it. We're just voiceless, we're just mute. We're just inactive. We still up on the land?
You mean me?
Okay, I just touched something on this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thing for me, I use yeah. You know, so yeah, we need to acknowledge, really acknowledge of being part of a global family and move accordingly, you know. We're not flexing that way, and we're too dependent economically, you know. And look at this import bill here. I mean, imagine that. Where they say to each other? Where they say they now?
I don't want to. I heard a figure.
Okay, but we're not huge.
Yeah, it's big. It's a lot.
Imagine that. Imagine them kind of money they are spent outside, and that you know I was listening to a news recently. I think it's BBC just before a somebody. Food. I don't even want to say food, you know, but I say food. Because them things are not edible, you know. Processed food is as addictive and even more addictive than cigarette, drug, and any form of drug. That is the recent report, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we keep talking about addiction and ganja, addiction and this and that. And imagine, I am sure, if it's not so, please correct me, whoever, that the import, the most part of the import bill budget there, right, is gone to things that are not edible, that people use as food, which are just junk, processed things. I am sure. So, I mean, what are we doing? No, man, we priorities not set right, man. And as I said, why people free will until no, man, that's what administration is to make sure that decisions are made, policies, legislation are made for the good of the masses of the people. But that is not happening. Because if you really check the masses of the people in how they eat and drink right now, they're using their teeth to dig their grave. And it's terrible. Give thanks to the time.
Yeah,
This is all.
yeah, okay.
If you give thanks to the
Elder,
atmospheric vibration.
All the time.
For.
Yeah. Thankful for the reasoning. Yes. Okay, so keep the calls coming. Like the elder just said, I mean, you wonder if the notion of the common good is at the forefront of our servants, because that's what they are. They were employees. Thing is, they don't see it that way. But anyway, Voices, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, James.
Hey, what's up?
to make a kind of controversial, but very, very important. 1st of December, we're going to make 48 years to the people of this country and to vote to buy our sugar land. Today, we do not know how much acres of land we own. It's very sad. And you look at it, right? She issued back to one on. And acquire the sugar land, not a section for need it, independent. And it's like, after Bradshaw went and he tried to acquire the sugar land, he need upon a big stumbling block. That's what was actually going on. The planters or the landowners was paying the workers less. Instead of put this cane field would have been 25 acres, only paying workers for 20. When Bradshaw acquired the sugar lands now, based the cost and the acreage that the workers was paid for. Only after he died now, he died 78. By 1980 now, change of administration. He then was required within a judge. He heard that if the people were being paid for a certain amount of the acreage, how is it we're going to buy the same land, the land become bigger? For years it was going on for. But then all of a sudden now, the land are being sold. We ain't gonna stay in it. I can't understand. And then when it's kind of he's pushing back and saying playing politics. How could somebody be playing politics when your life, your livelihood, and can't be right? Totally can't be right because it's like, for example, right? Between 1995 2008. Exactly before 2095 and 2008. Our land was being sold. Our passport was being sold. Money was borrowed from Social Security. It was not paid back. Our land was used as collateral to get the money. The money was not paid back. Eventually, Social Security started to sell the land. We should have never reached to that stage because if you're paying, he's selling passports, he's selling our land. How can you borrow money? Pay it back. How come now all of a sudden now, all kind of foreigners coming and buying land that we paid for? And, we ain't give them no kind of consent to sell the land. But they don't seem to understand. It's like they have power of attorney. Power of attorney sell something that was given consent to sell is a crime. And we're looking in that direction. When people can talk about farmers this and farmers that. I invest almost $30,000 on my farm, different and all of these things. How is it I can get that some kind of income? I play politics. I'm going to tell you something, right? 1991, I was in power. AK-47 was pointed on me. Bastille, Street and Central Street, right here in Canada by PDC. Neighbor supporters jump up and in defense of me. Put neighbor in power now. The same thing happened. This time around, the police have reached up on me farm up in the mountain, AK-47 again. It's like, the change of one. It's like come back to us. And at this present time, it's like, are you under torture? You're going to get income. How long your income is the can't farm? The thing is, when people talk about the farmers, they don't understand, something is being hidden. Anyhow, the farmers, them get around that table, the head table. We got to know how much land we own from how much land we ain't own. So that is what's being kept under. They want us to know what we're supposed to know. It ain't right. Ain't right. They're hungry, They're hungry. They could boiling for water. Almost 20 years been preaching. And now today, what's going on?
Oh, I think maybe his credit ran out or something. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock. Let's take the break. Don't forget this segment of Voices is brought to you by Hospitals. Let's get a word and then come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Hotsford Value Mart IGA specials.
Running October 19 to November 1st.
The more you shop, the more you save.
In October, get double points on dairy and grocery non-food items.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Dry Roasted Peanuts, $11.99. Mott's Applesauce, $3.79. Nature Valley Granola Bars, $9.99. Yoplait Yogurt, $3.99. Stone Ridge Ice Cream Sandwiches, $19.99. Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $11.99. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Essential Everyday Ketchup, $4.99. General Mills Honey Nut Cheerios, $14.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $7.99. Munoz Pasta, $5.99. Almond Breeze Almond Milk, $9.99. Irish Spring Salt Bars, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, and get the double points for more rewards today.
Continuamos en el mes de octubre con los puntos dobles y las recompensas. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback coupon to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Three minutes after 1 o'clock, and we are back for the final remaining minutes of Voices. We have 27 minutes left. And I'm here to take your calls on anything you want to discuss, anything you want to bring to light, anything you want to opine on, comment, give us a call. Now I looked at most of probably about 70% of the Creative Arts Center presentation that the Ministry of Creative Economy did on, was it Tuesday or Monday? I think it was Tuesday. No, not Tuesday. Monday, yeah. And so some of you might know by now that the Creative Arts Center is slated to be built over there in the Needs Must Valley over there, the Basti Valley over there in the Needs Must. Basically incorporating that hill, the hill that runs from basically northwest to southeast. That kind of cradles the Needs Must basin over there. You have that. There's this kind of a crescent trail that goes down to the Connery area and comes out just in front of the Stanford building, goes past the football field and so on. Well, so if you were to come the other way, say you came up by National Heroes Park and you continued driving, the Creative Arts Center would be somewhere around maybe after you go past the Bailey home. It would start somewhere just after that in the vicinity of the hill, and then it would take up some of the hill. I think they said the elevation was for the building itself was about 100, almost 100 feet, or more than 100 feet, something like that. Interesting architecture, interesting concept.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'd just like to make some observations about, concerning Dwyer's commentary.
Yeah.
That you played at the beginning. It's what amazes me is that when comments like these are made, the reaction to the commentary is unfortunately one like what Henry did, basically, is to say, well, they used to do it too, or you were complicit in this, without looking at the substance of the commentary and how we can actually do better. Right? It's as if it's justifying what is happening currently, what has happened in the past, basically, that two wrongs make right. Same kind of issue when you talk about the Palestinians and the Israelis and the reaction to it. Right? I mean, we have to stop this if we're not supposed to end up in some kind of ever-ending cycle.
I agree. Like a friend, on the same point, a friend of mine, someone had also called in and said that, something to the effect, my words, I'm elevating Dwyer. And I said, well, my pushback was, no, it's not about Dwyer, it's about the issues that he illuminates, not...
Exactly.
Right. I don't know where people get this stuff from.
But, and the thing is, I mean, I would expect the government to at least address the concerns that were made, because they are valid concerns, right? Not only are they valid concerns, but they are things that were that the current government addressed when they were in opposition.
There you go.
Exactly. And so if you come in and do the same thing, don't you expect that somebody is going to call you out on this?
Exactly.
And it seems as if the government would just trot out apologies and to defend. They make a bad job of it anyway, because a lot of the things are indefensible. And the official government sources just remain silent, as if to say, well, eventually they're going to stop talking about it. And that is where citizen action comes in. You don't stop talking about it, right? You don't let them feel comfortable doing the same foolishness as before, right? Right? You can't just let them ignore concerns like that. Then when they know better, that is the thing. They know better, right? And so I totally agree with Dwyer Astafan in pointing out not only the past stuff, but current stuff as well, that needs to be addressed. Okay, otherwise it's just going to be a never-ending cycle. And I am sure we can do better than this. I mean, yes, of course. I mean, if just like what the issues that the past government had and the voters made their displeasure very clear, the same thing would happen if these come in and do the same thing. The voters are going to speak as well. I don't know what it is about politics that you see everything when you're on the outside. But as soon as you get in there, it's a totally different kettle of fish.
Absolutely.
You know, it's really strange.
And that's why that's why I get so well, I've been jaded for a long time now, but I mean,
well, it's frustrating
yes,
to citizens.
exactly.
You know,
That's the word.
that's what it is. And what's worse, it's almost like they take you for fools, like you are for granted that you don't see what's going on. You can't see the things that are happening that should not happen. You know, and they go merrily along as if it's no big deal.
But the other thing that bugs me is this morning we had Farm Report, and you know, people. I have friends who will tell me, "Oh, they're bashing the government." Well, I'm like, how are they bashing the government? If I'm bitten by 100 bees that belong to the government, that the government has, and I point out that, well, I got stung by 100 bees and I haven't received any treatment, and no one has come to maybe move the hive, and this is what these guys do. I don't understand how people can say that they're just being like virulently political when all they're doing is pointing out the things that they need addressed.
That affects you. I mean,
and I don't understand
they
where
expect to mash people to and they're not.
I don't understand it. Here they go again. They come to bash the government. How are they bashing the government? How about
it's called keeping them accountable.
Yes, I don't understand
because they left to their own devices, as the past has shown, left to their own devices, they are going to do the wrong things.
I mean,
that's why I say that is the part I don't understand. Why you see everything crystal clear when you're outside, but once you're in there, it's the same modus operandi.
And the thing is, it works both ways. If the farmers were getting, let's just use that as the example since I started. If the farmers were getting what they were asking for, you know, the land prep tools like the tractors and all the other things, they would probably be singing the ministry's praises, and
but worse than that, you would think that is the simplest thing to provide.
Exactly.
You know, you want to tell me what it was, 17 tractors and only one working or something like that?
Exactly. And by the way, where did all these tractors disappear to? I kind of, you know, with Miss Henry's earlier call as a corollary, right? I heard a rumor about where the tractors are, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't know it for a fact. But it wouldn't surprise me.
That's the other thing too. In the absence of information,
I know exactly.
Clear information.
Somebody
people
told me
are going to speculate, and of course, some of that speculation is going to be wrong. But something as simple as that.
I mean,
right?
The tractors
don't give people cause to speculate.
Exactly.
You know, give people the information. I don't understand why it's like pulling.
And then, you know, they talk about, I mean, you heard Gad talk about, he would love to see the rollout of, you know, government PR type communications setup and so on. Just seems like there's more talking than doing going on. The only doing that
or that the communications that is being rolled out is basically just make the government look good, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much
cosmetics, not
not really informing people of what's really going down. I mean, people don't expect perfection, you know. There will be mistakes, but don't hide behind them and come out with some fancy damage control and that kind of thing, because it make it seem as if you think we're stupid and don't understand what's going on, right? And by keeping information, the accurate information away from us, that is going to solve everything.
And then you'll be
the amount of time and money spent on this PR thing, you know, it could have been better put to better use somewhere else. The time and energy you take to gloss over something that you know was wrong.
Exactly.
Correct it.
And I have to give the ambassador, what's his name, Nata? I mean, this is the other thing we do wrong.
we talk about how no one ever says sorry. The guy said sorry. Give him his props.
Yeah.
He said sorry.
Yeah.
Give him his props.
And you notice how
You
that
can't
just
make a
said
concentrate,
because at least he was contrite,
Exactly.
owned up, and then move ahead. But when you stay there and make it seem as if you're bashing the government or you know.
But also, I remember when WinFM was in its heyday, right? I remember people would meet me and they would say the same things, and my pushback was always, well, and the politicians, at the questions that the questions that the politicians get are dependent on the things they do or don't do, the things they say and don't say. So if they do good things, don't do bad things, and vice versa, say, don't say stupid stuff, then the questions will
not exactly.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
The corollary
I don't understand it.
Is that when, because the claim that you're always bashing the government.
It's a two-way
If you're a
street.
teacher, right? If you're a teacher,
yeah,
don't you pay more attention to what the student got wrong rather than what they got right?
Right, because that's what you want. That's the default you
right,
aim for.
exactly. You want corrective action. You want them to understand what was done wrong, so they won't do it again, or they do it correctly the next time. What they got right, they got right. They know that.
Exactly.
Okay, and you know, some just don't get it, right? They don't understand that in government, things will happen. People will mess up. It's just too big to not have mess ups. But it's how you deal with the mess ups that actually count.
I mean, it's like they
right?
want.
And you don't stay there and circle the wagons and you know, or stay there and have a circular firing squad.
I
That
mean,
doesn't help the situation.
they want they want non-linear responses to stuff. I mean, if someone mashes my foot, am I supposed to laugh and say thank you? I mean, I don't understand.
No, you give them the other foot to mash.
I don't understand what people expect.
Yeah,
If they do good stuff, they'll get, and which is why I said about Ambassador Nata. I found that enough. I've probably heard one person. I think it was you actually. One person who said. He actually said. He said sorry. And I thought that was good, and not enough was made of that, because we always go on. They just do stuff and they just keep.
The conventional wisdom says that you don't say sorry, you defend. You justify, even though you know you're wrong. Don't give people reason to say, "Oh, look what he did, and he had to apologize," as if having to apologize for something you do wrong is a big deal.
I mean, if you put a bowl on a paper cup, you expect the paper cup to stand strong and withstand all that weight, and you expect to do the opposite. You expect it to take off.
The squeaky wheel get the grease.
Yeah,
right?
I don't exactly. I don't understand what they expect.
Citizens should not stop making their voices heard, because that is how things will eventually get addressed. Okay, if you sit down there and keep silent and grumble and do nothing and say nothing, then of course you'll continue doing the same things.
You do what you're supposed to do. People are gonna say something, but then a lot of the times the politicians, when they do the bare minimum, they expect to be elevated to sainthood. When like this is what you're elected to do.
And exactly. And not only that, what I notice is this emphasis now on PR, right? Everything is about PR. You solve everything with PR, good press, good photo ops, and everything would be all right. Well, I don't think that the electorate is as gullible as that. Okay? In the final analysis, people normally deal with bread and butter issues. Okay? When things start to hurt them, they're gonna scream. Okay? One way or the other, they're gonna scream out. And so, in other words, what I'm saying is, it got to be about performance and substance as opposed to flamboyance and PR and those. You know, those things can only take you so far, right? In the final analysis, people's expectations are high. They are not as dumb as some people might think they are. They know exactly what they are expecting from a government, and if it is not delivered,
and
there will be consequences.
You realize something. You realize something. Something struck me because there was one of the farmers I was here this morning, and I think I saw him before, but I don't think I heard him speak. Right, but I thought of this because you just talked about. I still think some of the politicians on some level, maybe subconsciously, they just think we're all dummies and they can just do whatever they like. But you remember those days, probably maybe 50 years ago, maybe more, where people thought people who did farming and fishing were all dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these guys are no dummies. You heard them this morning, and you hear them every week.
They're not dummies.
Exactly. These guys are articulate. They're smart. They're analytical. They think critically. And these are the people. And these are the people you're joking around.
They're the ones. Those aren't the ones who are going to sit in the offices and make flowery speeches and attend meetings where you have. And one of the things that surprised me was the fact that they weren't brought in at the front end. It's like now they're supposed to implement a plan which they had no help in. They had no input at the front end. Okay. I don't know how that gets done, right? The last time that was tried was during slavery, and that did not end too well, okay? And you can't hold anybody ransom now with a whip and say, do this or else. Those days are done, okay? So you better get buy-in from the people who are going to do the work, who are going to produce who are going to reduce what it is 25 by 25%.
25 by 25.
2025.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who are going to be in the field doing the work.
Exactly,
Okay?
and
so
these
you better get buy-in from them.
And listen, every one of those guys could be flying a desk, but they clearly don't want to be flying a desk. They want to be outgrowing food.
Producing, yeah.
Which is exactly the kind of attitude we want.
And they should be treated as such. Those are the ones who are going to get us out of a mess if we ever have another COVID or worse, you know. And they should be treated as such. They should be, at the very least, they should be listened to. And one of the first things that are going to happen, now that they're doing the budget, okay, we can look for the inputs in the budget to see exactly what we think about our farmers.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Because if the agricultural budget remains at the same levels as previous, then we have a problem.
But then you could also say, if you heard a bit about how it was reported, we don't know this for a fact, but based on what Troy Flanders said and a few other people, that the video they saw, St. Kitts Nevis was the only country that didn't contribute as far as the video they saw, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has made a report, and then you saw the report that came out
about the increase in production in several countries.
And there were no statistics for St. Kitts and Nevis. So
and in all fairness,
I could argue. I'm arguing.
Didn't just come,
I'm arguing what you just said about the budget. That's the same thing. It's like, well, the fact, I saw you guys. Okay, yeah, maybe you guys were there for 2 days, but for what I saw, you all didn't contribute. Maybe you contributed off camera, but for what we saw, you didn't contribute. We saw statistics from the other countries. We didn't see any statistics from us. So what are we supposed to assume? That should we take this as a sign that you guys are not really interested in agriculture? It's a question. It's a fair question, right? So
yeah,
answer the
it is
question.
a fair question. I mean, as you say, they might have contributed in the plenary sessions or whatever.
Exactly.
But from the video, as you say, it doesn't seem as if maybe there was nothing that we could say. Maybe, as far as I don't know what the production was vis-a-vis last year. Maybe it fell and they didn't want to buck the trend where the other countries were increasing or had glowing reports, and then we come with a bad one.
But then
maybe
that again reflects badly on us, and that again points to what you just said about the budget. All of those things look taken by themselves and together paint a very bad picture, and it sends the wrong impression.
Well, one of the things they absolutely have to get clear that in order to get out of this, agriculture is going to have to be subsidized at least in the short term. Okay, you have to have inputs into it from the other sectors of the economy that doing better, right? Because I mean, even in the good old days when we were talking about how much peanuts we used to have and how much potatoes and agricultural production was up.
Pigeon peas,
even
stuff like that.
in those days, the cost of production was high. Okay, it had to be subsidized by the tractors and so on. They used probably came from the estates and so on. So it was subsidized in some way, and we probably have to do the same thing at least in the short term. As a matter of fact, most nations subsidize their agriculture.
Yes.
Most of them do it because, for whatever reasons, it's not as vibrant as the other sectors, a vibrant sector as the others in the economy. Okay, right?
Well, I don't think
it's something basic, and you want to keep food prices low. So you can't, as long as you were going to do that, then you can't just look at the sell stuff at the cost or at the cost of production and still get a profit. It has to be subsidized in some way, right? And so, bearing in mind, we talk about food security. There's nothing wrong in subsidizing it. There's nothing at all wrong in subsidizing it because it is something extremely necessary. I mean, we got to eat. That's
exactly.
Basic, right? So it probably requires some rethinking, but at the very least, it requires not what seemed to have been happening before, where you have the ministry against a section of the farmers. They all have to come together and get a really good plan if, first of all, this regional plan is to work here, and secondly, if agriculture is really supposed to become not a really vibrant sector of the economy. I mean, talk alone ain't going to do it, that's for sure,
Yes.
So, anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will.
At least this is a start.
Yes.
Where the farmers have decided that they're going to at least try to work that plan that they were given, all right? And hopefully, if they're at least, even if they're 80% successful, it means that they're going in the right direction, and it could only get better. We hope.
Yeah, I just wish that the powers that be would not see criticism, critique, broadsides as that speak to the things that people don't like, the things that people like. Well, okay, let's deal with the things that they don't like. I just wish they wouldn't see it. They wouldn't be so thin-skinned and defensive.
Well,
you should be working.
I have given up on that. Politicians seem as if they will be politicians.
I mean, at least
thin-skinned anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be fair. So
just block that.
Yeah.
And speak your truth. That is what should happen.
Yeah,
Let them be thin-skinned. So what? Do they feed you?
Well, I know, but I mean, I try to be fair because, take for example, when we're talking about the Bahamas, the video we saw, I was like you said too. yeah, we had to be mindful of the fact that, yeah, we didn't see St. Kitts Nevis contingent say anything, but then that wasn't necessarily the only meeting. So you have to be fair. But they don't even give us credit for that. Because if we were really, I mean, a lot of people, like including me, if it was just about being malicious, we would just let the broadsides rip, and without worrying about, little details like that.
Well, the thing, you see, I wouldn't call that a little detail. Eh? I mean, if you are going to be attending something, and we expect, first of all, that just like, for instance, when the Prime Minister goes to United Nations, everybody listens because, well, not everybody, but people listen because they want to make sure that our Prime Minister, who represents us, is holding his own on the international stage, right? Similarly, when officials lower down, whether ministers, PSs, or whoever else, go to these meetings, we expect them to contribute in a meaningful way as well, not go on a joyride, okay? And so we also expect that some kind of report will indicate at least that level of contribution, what the meeting was about, why it was important to go, because that's the other thing. I think since COVID, a lot of these meetings and so on can be done via Zoom, by an online platform.
Yes.
Okay? So it isn't everything you got to go to by attending, by traveling.
Yeah.
Okay? And so when they do go, we expect it's not going to be a joyride, but there's going to be some kind of meaningful contribution. They got to bring back something that's going to help the country to advance its goals, right? But very often we don't get that, right? I know, and the thing is, I mean, I would imagine that's what SKNIS and so on is for, to highlight those things, and I don't expect a report on every little meeting somewhere.
Yeah.
But at least the major ones, we should get some kind of feedback, That's all part of accountability as well.
Yes.
But, I'm still waiting for a kind of, to get this style of governing right now, okay? I don't see it yet. I don't see any change from what used to happen before. And if there's no change from what used to happen before, then we're going to get the same bad results.
Yep.
So let's hope
we can't keep doing the same thing and expect the same outcome, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a different outcome.
A different outcome. It just don't work that way. And the press should keep at it. The press should do their job. They should be relentless. One of the things we don't do well here with the press people, they don't follow up enough. Why? I mean, if you ask a question 4 times, you begin your question the 5th time with, I've asked this 5 times, we have not gotten an answer.
Or for example, you said next time you'd have some information. Do you have the information?
Right.
That almost never happens.
It almost never happens. I don't know why. I mean, if I'm asking you the same question all the time, I'm getting the same runaround. You mean I'm going to ask you the same way again the next time without reminding you that you've been stonewalling me? You got to be more aggressive than that, man. You got to. Otherwise, these guys run circles around you.
And the leaders have to be more. They have to be more mindful more
mindful of their promises.
Yes, and also more selfless.
Transparent government and integrity and accountability. But they got to show it. That's not something you just promise and leave on paper or leave in a voice note or leave on a record. It is something that has to be practiced. You got to be committed to it, and it has to be seen. It's like justice. You can't have the law on the book and say, well, it's being applied. Justice must be seen to be done, not only done. And it is the same way with these things. It got to be you got to be showing that you do it, and don't come with no Nancy Story or run around or like you're dealing with some kind of chat.
Oh, no smartness.
They love that, the smartness. And they think they're very smart, you know. Unfortunately, some people give them the idea that they're smart by buying into it, you know. But some people are awake. I mean, a lot of people, I think, there's a difference, I think, between elections as elections go, you know. People start to pay attention. People start to look at, well, how come you said this, but now you're doing that? I don't think they're going to be. It would be as easy to get away with it, get away with that kind of thing anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well,
anyway.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It was good. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
So I should be holding it down on Friday again, listeners. So voices, because Socrates is off island. I'm trying to have a discussion. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys yet. Friday, I'm working on a particular topic, but we'll see how that comes together for Friday on Voices. So that's going to do it for today. We want to say a special thank you to the sponsors, Hosfords, and we also had TDC. And let me wait. What's going on here? I was trying to get the sponsors here. So we have Hosfords, the second half, and then you also have Rams, Flow, and TDC. Those are your voices sponsors. So it's all about the sponsors and all about you, of course. So I'm going to sign off for today. Bye.
This is a public service announcement.
Brace yourselves for the ultimate shopping extravaganza that you've been waiting for. Get ready to be blown away because double cashback coupon season has officially landed at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Can you feel the excitement in the air? It's that magical time of year when Horsford's paves the way to your dreams by giving away millions in free groceries with every Flex Pay Higher purchase.